Ann Arbor, Michigan, or Grand Rapids, Michigan? Which city is best for your lifestyle? Well, let's find out. So you're thinking about moving to Michigan and you're considering Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a tough decision. Both cities have a lot to offer, but in this video, we're gonna cover some major differences and some major similarities between the two. So I'm gonna go over everything you need to know before making a move here to Michigan, including the cost of living, the schools, the downtown area, the entertainment, and of course, we'll be taking a look at the real estate market in each of these cities because, hey, you gotta know this information. It only makes sense. All to help you make a better decision when making that move here to Michigan. So let's get started. All right, so diving right in, we're gonna take a look at both cities from a bird's eye view.
We need a bird's eye view.
So Grand Rapids, or GR for short, is located on the west side of the state. It's best known for its furniture making companies like Herman Miller and has even been called Furniture City. But as of recently, it's better known as Beer City, USA because of all the breweries around town. And it's the second largest city here in Michigan next to Detroit. It's about 2.5 hours from Detroit and about an hour from Lansing, Michigan. And then we have Ann Arbor, or A2 for short, which is located in southeast Michigan and is best known for its arts and culture and is home to the University of Michigan and comes in at the sixth largest city here in Michigan. It's about an hour from Lansing and about 45 minutes to Detroit. So to give you perspective on the size of both cities, Grand Rapids is actually 53% larger than Ann Arbor in landmass. Comes in at 44 square miles with a population of right around 197,000, and Ann Arbor comes in at 28 square miles with a population of 120,000 people. So next up, we're going to take a look at the cost of living in both cities. Now, according to payscale.com, it is 9% cheaper to live in Grand Rapids than it is to live in Ann Arbor. And if we're comparing that to the national average, Grand Rapids is actually 5% cheaper and Ann Arbor is 4% more expensive than the national average. And the average salary, according to payscale.com, in Ann Arbor is $75,000 a year compared to Grand Rapids, which comes in at $65,000 per year. And if we're meeting here for the first time, my name is Meldrum. I make videos that are all things Michigan. I'm also a licensed real estate professional, and my team and I have helped hundreds of people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in Michigan, and we want to help you do just that. So if you are considering making a move and you do need some help, feel free to reach out anytime. All my contact information is down in the description below. All right, so let's keep this train rolling. You're not going to want to miss these next categories. I mean, all those stats are great and everything, but I know they're boring.
They're just numbers and boring.
But you got to know if you're getting into a city with a ton of people, hey, if you're an introvert and you're like, ooh, people, oh my gosh, you got to know that type of stuff. So let's get into the downtown area, which is super important. All right, so the downtown in Grand Rapids definitely feels like a bigger city. I mean, keep in mind, it's the second largest city here in Michigan compared to Detroit. So when you get downtown, all the buildings are bigger. You got a lot more shopping, a lot more restaurants. The landmass is just bigger. So, you feel like you're in a big city, but I would say the vibe in Grand Rapids is more like business casual. And then you have Ann Arbor's downtown on the other hand, which, you got areas like Carytown, South University, which is University of Michigan's campus. And then you have Main Street, which all feel very connected to one another. It's very walkable. You can get from one end of the city to the next in about 20 minutes. And if you're biking, probably in 10 minutes. So, there's a lot of shopping, a lot of restaurants, a lot of office spaces down there as well. And I would say the vibe in Ann Arbor is more like artistic meets tech startup. It's a very laid back approach, a lot of humble people, but certainly a lot of brain power there. Now, Grand Rapids has some pretty large attractions like the 6 museums that they have or the minor league sports teams that they have. If you want to catch a basketball game, you can go check out the Grand Rapids Golds, or if you want to catch a hockey game, you can go check out the Grand Rapids Griffins over at Van Andel Arena, or even a baseball game with the West Michigan Whitecaps. And if you want to catch a concert, Van Andel Arena turns into a concert venue, and you can go check out artists like Tim McGraw, Fall Out Boy, or even take the kids to Disney on Ice. Now, Ann Arbor doesn't have any minor league sports teams to speak of, but you do have the University of Michigan college sports. You got football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, all of the sports any time of the season for you to go check out.
All-American University of Michigan football player.
And if you're looking for some professional sports, remember, you're only 45 minutes away from Detroit. And in terms of concert venues, Ann Arbor does have a great concert venue. It's just on a much smaller scale. It's not like Van Andel, but you're going to have places like the State Theater, the Michigan Theater, and the Arc. You get a lot of great comedians that come in, and it's more of like the finer arts. There's a little more intimate theaters for those events.
It's not my fault the nearest brick and mortar edible arrangements is in Ann Arbor.
All right, so next up on the list, we're going to take a look at the school systems in both Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. You know, as a dad of two myself, I take this very seriously. My wife and I, we want the best education. We want the best opportunities for our kids. And we are like most people that we talk to. The first question that I usually get when you guys schedule a Zoom call is, hey, I'm going to be working here. All right, so we kind of narrowed down exactly where I need to commute to. Where are the best school systems from there?
Where did you move in Michigan? I mean, you wanted to work in our Ann Arbor office.
And then we can narrow down all those cities, and that's our target, because that is the number one priority for most people that are looking to move their family to a new area. I know priorities might be different if your kids are older, or you don't have kids, or you're young and you're just coming here for a job and this might be a temporary location for you. But for most families, the best school systems are in line of sight. So I want to talk about that here for Grand Rapids and Ann Arbor. So according to niche.com, Grand Rapids public school system is actually ranked a C overall compared to Ann Arbor, which is ranked an A+. So you can see the comparison. I mean, C to an A+, I think you know the answer to that. But here's the silver lining. Just like most major cities, there's always surrounding areas. So there are good school systems in the Grand Rapids area.
First stop, Grand Rapids Elementary.
You just got to go to places like East Grand Rapids or Forest Hills, Ada, those type of places. And then, surrounding Ann Arbor, if Ann Arbor is not good enough, there's Dexter, there's Saline, there's Brighton, there's Northville, there's Plymouth. All fantastic school systems within 10 to 15 minutes of Ann Arbor.
And didn't just go to Ann Arbor to visit family.
All right, so let's take a look at some real estate in both Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. Now, remember, the real estate is always tied to the economy surrounding those major cities. So Ann Arbor has had a vibrant economy with the University of Michigan and the healthcare system, education system, and with the addition of the automotive and technology companies that are there, they've had a very strong economy and job market. So GR is really best known for its manufacturing roots with furniture making, in the automotive industry and medical device. These are all centered around furniture. So you got a lot of manufacturing companies in the Grand Rapids market. And as of recently, they've really started diversifying the job market and including a lot of healthcare jobs, finance, and tech companies. Ann Arbor, on the other hand, has always had a thriving job market with healthcare, education, and technology. And we've seen a recent spike in the past couple of years with the automotive sector making a big push into self-driving cars and electric vehicles. They partnered with the University of Michigan for a lot of research and development. And the University of Michigan is actually home to one of the first self-driving car cities called M-City. And a lot of research and development is being done there as well.
This is M-City. To advance transportation safety, sustainability, equity, and accessibility for the benefit of society.
All right, you guys know me. I could talk about real estate for days and days and days. And if you do have questions about the real estate market in both of these cities, definitely drop a comment down below. Let me know what your questions are, or better yet, reach out to us. I'd be happy to answer those. So in terms of Grand Rapids and Ann Arbor, the job market and the economy has a lot to do with the real estate market in both of those cities. So Grand Rapids being tied to manufacturing and Ann Arbor being tied mainly to healthcare, education. You're seeing a lot more high paying jobs. We saw that in the salaries. So when we look at the prices of homes in both Grand Rapids and Ann Arbor, some of these numbers are going to reflect. So the average cost of a home in Grand Rapids is $276,000. compared to the average cost of a home in Ann Arbor, which is $530,000. But there's always a but. Here's the kicker. Remember when we talked about the schools in Grand Rapids and we ranked them as C according to niche.com? Well, that's a good explanation on why we're seeing such a lower price in Grand Rapids. Now, don't let that fool you though, because some of the surrounding areas, they do have great school systems, and the prices of those neighborhoods in those great school systems are actually more expensive than Ann Arbor. The average price in Forest Hills is right around $700,000. The average price in East Grand Rapids is more like $550,000. So you can take a look at these however you want, but just know the school system does play into the price of the homes. And if you're thinking about going to Grand Rapids and getting a cheap house, you can, but just be aware of the area that you're moving to, the school system that you're moving to, and that might affect your resale value as well. So as you may be noticing, there's obviously some similarities between these two cities and some glaring differences that you are now aware of if you weren't before. So in terms of the lifestyle in both Grand Rapids and Ann Arbor, I'll summarize it like this. Grand Rapids definitely has that big city vibe to it. You got the tall buildings downtown, tons of shopping, tons of restaurants. It's business casual down there, lots of things to do. You got sports venues, you got minor league teams. So there's a lot of things to do. The surrounding area of Grand Rapids is really charming too. You got some small towns that have quaint downtown areas. You got historic areas that are dating back to the early 1900s. Grand Rapids is also just about an hour away from Lake Michigan. So if you are looking to get out, get on the water, you know, you got areas like Grand Haven, Muskegon, and then there's tons of lakes in the Grand Rapids area as well. So you got little small towns, you got lake communities, you got Lake Michigan. There's a lot to do on the west side of Michigan. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And then summarizing the lifestyle here in Ann Arbor, you know, you got deep roots with culture and arts. You know, Ann Arbor's home to the art fair, which is the largest art fair here in Michigan. And then you have the University of Michigan as well, which brings a whole new level of intellect to the city. You know, you got research and development happening at pretty much every corner, and there's spin-outs from the University of Michigan for technology companies, bioscience, and all of these things that are just so crazy to see these advances, and they're right here in our backyard here in Ann Arbor. So a lot of great jobs and a strong economy here in Ann Arbor. But in addition to that, Ann Arbor is a ton of fun too. You know, it's an outdoors activity city. You got the Huron River that flows directly through the city. So if you're into kayaking, biking, hiking, you know, all of these things exist. You know, we got 162 parks in Ann Arbor. I can go on and on and on and on.
The list goes on and on, but I'm done listing.
So overall, Grand Rapids and Ann Arbor are both great places to live and great places to raise a family, but the fact remains the same. Ann Arbor has been ranked the best place to live, best place to raise a family, and best place to retire by a lot of publications. So not to sway you one way or the other, but these are just facts. I just want to put it out there, let you decide whether Grand Rapids or Ann Arbor is best for you. Well, there you have it. Hopefully this gave you a brand new perspective on both Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. And if you are thinking about moving to either of these cities, definitely give us a shout. And if you're heading to Grand Rapids, you know, we will get you in touch with one of our partners out there to service your real estate needs. But as always, you know, reach out with any questions, drop a comment below. And hey, if this information is helpful and you guys like this type of content, then do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe and tap that little bell so you're notified every time I come out with a new video just like this. And if you still need more information, go binge all the videos on the channel. There's 2 more right here for you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.